Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Katarina and today we'll go through a yoga flow that's really great for your hips. So if you have any tightness around the hips, I'm sure this flow will ease some of that tension. We can actually start right here, so cross-legged on the mat. Just finding your sitting bones, make sure you're sitting straight, lengthening through the spine. You can make one big circle with the shoulders, drawing them back and down. You can rest your hands on your lap or on your knees or your thighs. See where it feels comfortable for you. And for a moment you can close the eyes as we start to arrive into our practice today. So if you can start to drop into this moment. Drop into your body, starting to gain a bit of awareness there. Maybe you notice as you start to cultivate this body awareness that you automatically start to take deeper breaths, more conscious breaths. Maybe that naturally happens, maybe it doesn't. Either way, we're going to start to lengthen the inhales slightly. And then exhale fully. Doing that again, deep, long inhale. And exhale. One more like that, really feeling the lungs expand, breathing all the way as if to the bottom of the stomach. And exhale fully. You can then open the eyes, keeping your hands on the knees. We're going to start to make circles with our upper body. So it doesn't matter which direction you start in, just remember which direction you start in so that you do the other direction as well in just a bit. So as you inhale, move forward. As you exhale, round the spine at the back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Take one more full circle, inhaling and exhaling. And then as you next end up forward, you can release your hands from the knees or the thighs, folding over the legs. Finding just a gentle stretch for the hips, for the glutes. Good. Take an inhale. And then exhale, roll the spine back up. Now, whichever foot you have in front, we're going to change it. So we're symmetrical. Hands back onto the knees, circles to the opposite direction. Okay, once again, exhale, round. Then move forward, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. You can even draw your chin towards your chest. And then move forward. One more full circle. And then as you end up at the top of the mat, you can release the hands again, folding over this leg. See if you can lengthen the spine. Bringing your belly button closer to the heels. Good. Take an inhale. And exhale. Roll the spine back up. Good. We'll then come over our ankles and our knees onto all fours. Bring your hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhaling into a cow pose. Open up through the chest, lifting up through the sitting bones, and exhale round the spine. Inhale again, open up, and exhale round. We'll do that once more. Inhale. Exhale. Now tucking the toes under as you exhale, start to lift the hips off the mat, finding a downward facing dog. Well done. You can keep bending through the knees, find a bit of space in the backs of the legs, really guiding the sitting bones towards the ceiling. Good.
Take a few full breaths here. Make sure you're pressing the mat away from you through the palms. Strong shoulders, hugging the triceps in. Hugging the rib cages in too. Yeah, take one more full breath. And exhale out. With our next inhale, we reach our right leg up behind us. We're going to bend the knee and open through the hip. And then start to draw circles into the air with your right knee. Start in whichever direction you like. We'll do 3 circles into both directions. Once you're done with one direction, you can change. Good. When done, reach the right leg up behind you. Inhale. As we exhale, hugging the right knee in towards the right tricep, you can tap it there. And then as you exhale, cross the right ankle over the left knee, coming into a variation of a downward facing dog. So we have the right ankle crossed over the thigh or the knee. And then we're going to come onto our left tiptoes, bend through the knees so that you bring your stomach really close to the thigh. Finding a nice stretch there. Inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to turn onto the outer edge of the left foot and sit down. You can do this in bits as well. So we end up in a double pigeon pose. I'm going to turn around just so you see me a little bit better. So this is where we end up. If this feels difficult with your right ankle over the left knee, you can also open it up into an open square like this. So on this side, we make sure that our right shin is either on top or in front. I'm going to turn around so that I don't get mixed up. So left ankle under the right knee, right ankle over the left knee. Take a deep inhale here, lengthen through the spine, pull the shoulders back. If you want to, with the exhale, you can start to fold over the legs. Take an inhale, lengthen, maybe coming onto the fingertips. Exhale, fold over. Take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over. Then rolling the spine back up. Now listen really carefully. So we'll keep the right ankle crossed over the left knee and we'll find a downward facing dog or that variation of a downward facing dog from here. So reaching your hands forward and then from here tilting into a downward facing dog. Right ankle still crossed over the left knee. You can also do this in a few steps if that feels easier. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, we find a pigeon pose. So the right leg simply moves forward. The position pretty much stays the same, or the bend in the knee. You can shift around here, maybe moving your weight from side to side a few times, and then perhaps coming down onto the forearms. Or if you want to come all the way down onto your belly, you can do that too. Take a few deep breaths. You can either stay here for a few more breaths, or if you want to add a bit of a back bend and a bit of a quad opener, you can come up here and perhaps start to bend through the left knee. You can just simply grab the foot, pull it towards you. You'll feel a nice stretch here in the left hip flexor and the left quad. If you want to, you can also try flipping your grip, coming into a king pigeon. Or then just stay here. You can also stay in your regular pigeon, whichever you prefer. We're all going to find our way into this neutral center position. And then we're going to swing our left leg forward, crossing it over the right knee so that we come into a Gomukhasana. You can shift the hips around, make sure it's comfortable, especially for your knees. Make sure also that your sitting bones are grounded. The position might not look like this. It could look more like this, which is completely fine. As long as you feel something in the outer edges of the hips. We'll take a few breaths here, lengthening through the spine.
If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can also fold over the legs. I prefer staying up here. I love how it feels in my hips. And if you stay up here, see if you can really lengthen through the spine. Release the shoulders down. Good. Take one more inhale in whichever variation you're in. And then exhale out. We're going to lean back, releasing the legs. And then we're going to slowly release all the way onto our backs, lifting the legs up, and then coming all the way into a plow. You can reach your arms towards the top of the mat, maybe interlace them here. You can reach your legs, your toes towards the back of the mat. If you want to bend your knees, you can. Or keep them straight up to you. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can also come into a deaf man's pose, which means we bring our knees really, really close to the ears. And here you can also reach your arms towards the ankles. Good. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, you can start to find your way back, really slowly releasing the spine back onto the mat. We'll hug our knees towards the chest. You can gently sway from side to side a few times. And then swinging back and forth a few times. Maybe with the second or the third round, you find your way all the way up into a seat. Bring your hands down. Step into a plank pose. If you want to go through a vinyasa, you can do that now. Or we can also meet in a downward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. We'll do the other side. So we're going to inhale our left leg up behind us. Bend through the knee, open through the hip, and start those big circles with the knee. So 3 into both directions. And then switch once you're ready with the first side. Good. We then inhale the left leg up behind us. Exhale, draw the left knee towards the left tricep. And then cross the left ankle over the right knee. Well done. Now coming onto the right tiptoe, start to bend through the knee, really engaging through the left ankle as well, so you can flex the ankle. Stomach comes really close to that left thigh. Inhale. And then start to come onto the outer edge of the right leg and release into a seat. You can adjust the position so that you find your double pigeon pose. If this feels difficult, you can also release the left leg so that it's in front of the right one. So as long as you find some kind of sensation in the hips, you're doing it correctly. Good. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, you might want to fold over. It doesn't have to be a big movement. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over. We'll do that once more. Inhale. And exhale. Then coming all the way back up into a seat. Now going through that slightly tricky transition where we bring our hands down, tuck the right toes under so that you can push the hips up into that variation of downward facing dog. Good. Inhale here. And then exhale, we move the left leg forward, coming into pigeon pose. Adjust through the legs, through the hips if you need to. Maybe finding a bit of back and forth, side to side movement here. Maybe coming onto the forearms. See what feels good for your hips. Keep breathing, releasing the hips closer to the mat with every exhale. We then find our way back onto the hands if you want to bring that slight back bend in as well. So you can start to bend through the right knee, maybe just simply grabbing the foot. If you want to go for that king pigeon, you can, which means you flip the grip and end up here. See what you want to do. Just making sure you're breathing throughout. Good. We then release the foot if we were holding on to it. Bring both hands down onto the mat. And then we swing the right leg forward, coming into Gomakasana on this side. So check with the sitting bones, make sure they're grounding down. Making sure that pose is comfortable enough for you. You can rest your hands on the feet. If you want to fold over the legs, you can do that too. Or then find a really long spine. Allow the shoulders to melt down. Even your face is soft. And breathe here. Allow the hips to grow heavier. Allow the knees to grow heavier too. The closer your knees move to the mat, the more you'll also feel the stretch. Take an inhale. And exhale, leaning back slightly so that you can release the legs. This time we'll cross them and step into a downward facing dog. Well done. From here, inhale your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Turning your left heel, inhale, come into warrior one. And then open into warrior two. Good. Keep your right knee pointing forward, so you're really opening through the hips, pointing the right knee towards the toes. Good. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Take another inhale here, lengthen. And then come back through center, bringing your right elbow onto the knee. Reach the left arm over. Or you can drop your right hand down as well. Here, making sure you keep pointing the right knee forward. Keeping your weight evenly on all four corners of the right foot and reach the left arm over. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, come back into warrior two. And we transition into Skandasana from here. So you can bring your hands to heart center, maybe staying a little bit higher up here. Or if it's okay for your left ankle, you can come all the way down here. Sometimes it's a bit hard to find balance here. You can help with your hands. You can even support yourself through the back with one hand. Or then if you're okay, bring your hands to heart center. Good. Really pressing the left knee away with the left elbow. Take an inhale. And then exhale. See if you can find your way back to the top of the mat. Bring both hands down. Step into a plank and vinyasa. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Good job. With our next inhale, the left leg lifts up. Exhale, draw the knee in. Step it forward. Turn the right heel, warrior one as we inhale. And then straight to warrior two, exhale. Well done. Dropping into this pose. Making sure you're grounding through the feet, pointing the left knee forward. Inhale, reach forward. Reverse the warrior, exhale. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, move back through center. Left elbow onto the knee and right arm over. Also on this side, if you want to go deeper, you can also drop the left hand down. Keep bending through the left knee. Long line from the right ankle to the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, come back up into warrior two. Then moving into Skandasana towards the back of the mat, the right knee bends. Once again here as well. You can stay up a little bit higher or drop all the way down. Hands can be on the mat or the floor. They can be at heart center. See what suits you best. Good. Take an inhale. And then as we exhale, we find our way to the top of the mat. Hands down. You can step into plank, maybe go through a vinyasa. Either knees down or lifted. Inhale into cobra. Exhale down, push back onto hands and knees, tuck the toes under, and downward facing dog. Well done. From here, you can come onto your tiptoes, bending the knees. You can either step or hop onto your bum, crossing the feet. We'll uncross them, place the feet onto the mat, reach your arms forward, and roll the spine all the way onto the mat. We'll hug the knees towards the chest, and then open them out into a happy baby pose. So you can grab the outside edges of the feet, the big toes, the ankles, maybe the shins, or even the backs of the knees. So what we're really trying to create here is a long spine. So ground the lower back onto the mat and ground your shoulders down as well. If you feel like you're clenching through the shoulders at all, if you feel like they're lifting off the mat, or if you feel like your sacrum and your lower back aren't grounded, please grab a hold a little bit higher up the legs so that you can find that long spine. And then from there, you can start to pull your knees closer so that you get that lovely stretch for the inner thighs, for the hips, maybe also for the lower back. Good. Take one more full breath here. And then exhale. You can gather your knees in, release the feet onto the mat. And from here, we're going to open the knees out, coming into a Supta Padangusthasana. You can bring one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your heart. And then just finding stillness in this pose for a moment. After all of that movement, see if you can find a bit more softness at this point. Maybe you're able to release your body a little bit more, soften a little bit more. You might feel your heart beating under one hand. Maybe feeling the air moving in and out of your lungs with the other. And see if you can soften every part of your body here. As long as the hips are comfortable. If they're not, you can also straighten them out. Just make sure you can relax here. The arms are soft. Check with all the muscles around the face. Make sure you're unclenching the jaw. All the small muscles around the eyebrows and the eyes are relaxed. As we take a few more breaths here. Take one final breath in and out. You can then bring your knees back in with the help of your hands. We'll turn on to one side and push ourselves back up into a seat. You can still keep your eyes closed for just a moment. Find that same seated position as we started with. Long spine, soft shoulders. We'll then bring our hands to heart center, taking one final big breath in through the nose. Fill the lungs up. And then open the mouth and sigh all the air out. When you're ready, you can bow your head towards your hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this practice, please subscribe to my channel. You can also leave a like and let me know in the comments if you'd like any specific kinds of flows or what you thought of the flow. I post new practices weekly. So if you enjoyed it, I hope I see you here next week as well. Thank you.